Hi, I'm Heath Weaver. So I talk about AI for executives, and I also have a channel, Remote Executive, where I talk about high performance management for remote workers. Um, so I was thinking a little bit today about AI in the future, and just I have older children, I have younger children. There's a pretty big gap between the two of them, and I was thinking that my children will grow up, as did my older ones, grew up completely with always having internet and phones and things like that. And we've learned a lot about that and like what kind of now we're starting to see where the dangers of that, the harms of that are, but also the positive things. And of course, internet and mobile phones have reshaped society and reshaped basically everything. So my younger children, they're going to grow up with AI, and that's going to be the thing that I find interesting there is that it's like they're going to have 200 plus IQ intelligence level on tap their whole lives. Like, and what will that mean for them? And one of the things I was thinking about, which recently, like, was what would it look like? For example, what are some of the different industries going to look like with AI driving it? So let's take something like hiring. I was just talking about in the remote executive channel about just the processes around hiring, and if you think about it, like, we take a piece of paper or we take a PDF document, whatever, and we represent like years of our work with like 3 or 4 bullet points, and as an executive, as somebody who's been working for a long time, for some decades, like, you just try to you have to reduce all these things that you've done, all these accomplishments you've had, all this time that you put into like four bullet points, and then like if they're the right bullet points, like somebody's going to like call you for an interview. It's ridiculous, in a way. If you just think about it, it's so ridiculous that 20 bullet points is supposed to represent kind of give you a good idea of who you should interview. I just don't see that continuing. I think that the platform like LinkedIn, of course, the social network of it's interesting, but just the idea of us representing our work histories in this format, that's not going to last. There's no way that can last. It's ridiculous. I, as a someone who's been working remote for a long time, I have 10,000 hours of video of myself working as a CEO. Well, it's a 50-person company at its max, so it's probably more like, I could say like managing director is a better way to call it. CEO is a little grandiose. Like, I have 10,000 hours of me working. Like, if an employer wanted to see me working, like, they could just watch some videos of me working, whether it's training employees, whether it's, doing company meetings, setting out the strategy for something we're working on. Of course, then there's the output of things, which are systems I built, which they can't really look at because they're, within the company. And then there's also like, documents and emails and all these things that I've written. So like, in a world of AI, just let the AI watch it. With all the privacy can be built into it, making sure that it doesn't pass in anything that's sensitive. But like, an AI could easily be told, these are the things that we're looking for. These are the characteristics. These are what we want to see. And then it could, look at those videos, and it could watch those 10,000 hours, and on times 2, it probably only needs to watch like a little bit of it on actual speed, but the rest of it can either just like transcribe the videos or just watch it in a faster speed, just kind of get the what it is. And then it could come back with a really, really good idea of whether or not I would be a good fit, especially for a remote company. It may not be able to determine like perfectly like how I would be in person, but then with all the other things, it could determine like enough to get me to where it makes sense to actually have an in-person interview to see how I carry myself. But so we will eventually need to get to that place. That's what makes a lot more sense, and that's what the power of AI is. Now, what I'm interested in is I just find AI so interesting. I love it. I think all the time I'm working with it, I just think this is such a fantastic time to be alive. It's such interesting technology. There's so much to do with it, and I'm trying to set up or I'm working on some different materials to try to help executives who don't know what they don't know. And that's probably the thing that I think with most people in more senior jobs, you just don't realize what's happening. I saw a Twitter post a couple days ago of someone who had a brother who was working at Boeing as a developer, and they'd like never heard of any of these development tools like Cursor or Windsurf or something, which was like a develop kind of a AI integrated development platform. And then as soon as they got it, then they realize, oh, this is amazing, and then they implement it inside the company, and then everybody starts using it. But like they just didn't know that, and those are developers and people who are working on really big systems, and they just don't realize what's happening underneath them. And these young people who are growing up in this, like the people who are jumping on it now, and then even for people who are further, who will get onto it later, like they're just going to live a very different experience. Like what's possible for people now is just changed completely. And you can see that the people who are jumping into it, just kind of what they can do. So I think as an executive or as somebody who has a lot of experience or someone who's been working for a long time, like this is not something to, it's like internet and like phone. Or like a mobile. It's not something that you should put off. It's not something that you should be like, oh, I'm quite busy, I know this is important. It's like, no, you should like stop whatever you're doing, and it's not as important as just getting on top of this, because it's like really is something which is fundamentally going to change everything that you do. What I want to do is just build, to help people to work on some projects that will help them to get confident at what's possible, kind of go from where you're at right now, which is probably just, you're like, yeah, I've chatted with it and it's okay, or it's helped me with some research. It's like, yeah, okay, that's good. You at least you've touched it, but that's nothing to where it can go. So really working on a few projects to help you to move from there to like the capabilities that it can do, and to see that you can do that and that your teams can do that, like, and really change the way that you work and get everybody around you changing and really like integrating like the full capabilities of it. That's really what I'm interested in with, because I think it's just like, it's something that we should jump on and try to help push forward and make sure that we do that in as human focused way as possible. And the benefits of that are going to be even far, far more. What we can do with AI of us and our intelligence with that 200 plus intelligence beside us is going to be just something that's incredible. And I'm excited about that for my children and for everybody. I'm going to set up a Skool.com community. But if you're interested in this and learning more or getting into it, send me a message, leave a comment, let me know. And I would love to start organizing work for people that could help them, or projects for people that could help them to go further in their AI experience. Anyway, hope you have a great week. Bye.